usually. Okay, so, thank you. So, here is a protractor. Now, a couple of things before we get started. Please do not play with them. Okay, first thing, it says School Smarts. So make sure it's facing the right way. So flip it around. Make sure you can read School Smart on, All right. Now, this is a protractor. Again, it measures angles and it helps us draw angles. Now, I'm going to start off with the most important part, in my opinion, of a protractor. So, stop. And I need you to look up here. Not Orlando. I need you to look up here. You're not. Okay. To me, this is the most important part. Right here. It's right above the 2-inch mark. Okay? That is where you're going to start measuring or drawing. That little upside down T. I call this the upside down T because it kind of looks like an upside down T. That's the first thing you need to identify and the first thing you need to use when you're drawing and or measuring that upside down T. Okay? It is right there, the upside down T. That's the most important part. Now, a couple more things that I need to, familiarize you with. This line right here is your 0 line. This line over here is also your 0 line. There are 2 sets of zeros. So depending on where your line is for your angle, you'll either use this 0 or that 0. So your eyes are on the screen, you're not wandering. All right. Now, do you notice that there's 2 sets of numbers? I have 10 on here, and I also have 10 here, right? So this protractor goes both ways. So you can either measure in going this way, or you can measure going this way. The hardest part for a 7th grader is figuring out which set of numbers do I use. Do I use these, or do I use these? I like to call these numbers the inside numbers. What's wrong? Oh my god. Wow, it's really acting really weird today. These are the inside numbers. What do you think I call these numbers? Outside numbers, right? And I'll be referring to you like, hey, you got to use the inside numbers. You got to use the outside numbers. Today, for the most part, we're going to use inside numbers today. Okay? Because they're easier. Just the worksheets ended up that way. So, again, these are my inside numbers. These are my outside numbers, 0 and 0. Okay? So, if you haven't been paying attention to me, pay attention to me right now. Okay? Snap out of it. Focus, readjust. All right. First thing you're going to do to draw. You're going to draw a dot kind of in your middle of your paper. That dot right there. Okay?
We're not going to title it?
Yeah, title it Angles. Hello. And today's date is the 26th. I totally did that without you looking, but I did it, Dylan. Totally. Look right there. Mm-hmm.
Hey, miss.
Yes?
It says this is 2024. Like every year when it was time to do last year, Mr. Armstrong.
So this is a ruler, okay? So you're going to use this as a ruler. Where the dot is, you're going to make a line to the right side. Just like this. Pretty long. Maybe like 3 inches. Pretty long. Trust me, the longer, the easier the math is. If the line is too short, the math is actually harder. Can you do this without looking at anybody else? Just this. Just focus on yourself. Okay, we're done? Are we good? Do we have a dot and a line?
Oh, yeah.
Dot and a line.
We're supposed to put it in the middle.
You want to, because sometimes if you put it too much on the edge, your angle would be like cut off. So, and if you put it too close over here, your angle might be cut off. So I always like to start in the middle. All right. Remember that upside down T that I taught you was the most important part? Okay, so that upside down T needs to be on top of your dot. So the upside down T, where the 2 is at the bottom, that needs to go on top of your dot. So I'm going to put the upside down T on top of my dot. Now I'm going to make a mistake. Can anybody recognize, I know you just started learning this, can anybody recognize the mistake I have so far? I have my dot on top of the T, which is what I want, but there is a mistake. Can anybody tell what the mistake is?
can't write because.
Yeah, it's not straight. You see the line here? Where do you think I need to line up the line with? On top of the 4, the 0. So you see how I'm off here? It's just a little bit, but it's huge. It's a huge mistake. So you want to make sure that this is lined up, okay? This is about being accurate. So 2 things need to check. The dot is on top of the T. So put your dot on top of the protractor right here. I need to see this. And this line is lined up to the 0, which is on top of the 4. It's not labeled 0, but it's a 0. Okay. Now, if I were to teach a 2nd grader how to skip count, does everybody know what skip count means?
Yeah.
Like 2, 4, 6, 8. But I'm teaching the 2nd grader how to skip count by 10.
10, 20, 30, 40.
Yeah, light work, right? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, right? Okay, I need 7th graders to skip count by 10 in this and today and this week, okay? So, if this is 0, I'm going to skip count by 10. Am I going to skip count by 10 and go to 170, 160, 150? No. Is that how I naturally count? No. If I'm going to skip count by 10, where do I start? 10, 20, 30. So what does that mean? Because this line is on this side and this is 0, what numbers do I look at? The inside numbers or the outside numbers?
Inside.
Inside, because I always count by 10, so I start with 10. Go to 50 and put a mark on it. So, 0, focus, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Put a mark. So, line it up. Go to 50. Put a mark.
All the way to what?
50? So, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Here's my 50. I'm going to hold it down so I don't move it. Put a little dot on 50. There's 50, right? Here's my little mark at 50. Once you do that, at 50, you can lift this up and use this as a ruler. So connect it, just like so, and label this 50 degrees. We're okay? All right. Now, does anybody know what we call a 50-degree angle? It has a name. A cube. Very good. Is that what you're going to say? Good. Very good. I'll teach you that tomorrow, if you don't know it.
I did it in GG, but I keep on forgetting what it is.
Okay. Skip some space. Skip some space. Draw another dot. Skip some space. Draw another dot. Draw a line. The longer the line, the easier it is. Why? Because you can line it up to 0 easier. So draw me another dot and a line. Dot and a line. Okay, put your protractor on the dot. Upside down T on the dot. Line it up to the 0. Just like so. So with the lines long enough, it's easy for me to check that it's at 0, right? There's no need to create short lines and then make your life more difficult. So extend it so I have it to 0. All right. Now, once you have it there, I want you to mark off 120 degrees. 120 degrees. So skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, all the way to 120. It's going to take you a minute. Go. So put a little dot on 120. Put a little dot on 120. So skip count, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Oh, do I stop there? No, that's just 60. We don't use that side, we use the inside. Very good. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Woo, we made it. Put a little line. 120 degrees. We start at 10, all the way to 120. Right there. 120. Pick it up, draw it, and label it 120 degrees. Now I can tell from far away if you use the wrong set of numbers. If your angle is small and it's supposed to be 120, like it's like tiny, I know you use the wrong set of numbers. Question?
Isn't the 120, isn't it called obtuse?
Is it like this?
Yep. So if I see that your angle is like wide for 120, I know you're right. But if I walk around and you have a very small little angle, I know you use the wrong numbers. All right. Woo. All right, are we ready for a hard one?
Yeah.
Is it actually hard?
Oh, it can be actually. It's not supposed to be hard, but some kids can make it hard.
Oh, you're gonna say like a small number?
Well, I'm going to say, okay, before he zooms in. Oh, perfect. Do you guys see that in between the numbers, there's a longer line? Do you guys see this longer line?
That's the middle.
That's the middle. What value does it have?
The half.
The half, which is the 5. So if your line, or if I ask you to do halves, you would go to the middle line. So this would be, if I use my inside numbers, what would this be?
350.
No, 35.
35. Because it would be 10, 20, 30, 35. I don't reach the 40. Some kids will say 45 because they'll look on top, but it's like you didn't pass the 40, so it's before. Now, later on today, we're going to have lines that go here, and this would be like 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So all of these are ones, right? But it's nice with this long line because you can easily see, oh, it's the long line. It's 35. Got it? Okay. I want to do 75. So if for those of you who can do it, do 75. I'm going to walk you through it, but for those of you who can do it before I can, do it. 75. Dot and a line. Dot and a line. Dot on the T. Measure out 75 while I go find some water. Okay, can we do it? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then the little line longer.
Is it like this?
It's supposed to be closer. 75.
What do you mean close?
Is it like this?
That.
It's supposed to be smaller than 90.
So, oh, it's
Like
It
this?
should be like this. Ish. If you got this, you're using the wrong numbers. So it should be like this.
So, Maddie, what is it?
Yeah, let me do it. 75. It's okay if you put the mark on the top, right? It's okay if you put the mark on the top because I did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then I moved to the top for the little lines. Then I'm going to connect just like so and label it 75 degrees with the little circle. How many of you feel like you got that one right? Good. Okay. Most important part. Make sure your line is long enough. And the T. The T is the most important part. If you don't put the T in the right spot, the whole thing's wrong. So if you don't put that T there, the whole thing is wrong. All right. You're only going to do the front side. Then I'm going to give you a second worksheet. We're only going to do the front side. Okay? Do the front side. Just the front side.
Are we gonna turn it in?
Tomorrow, once we do the back side tomorrow. It's not about rushing through this. It's about doing a good job.
Can I go?
Can we do the back side at home?
You don't have birthday ground.
Or do you? No, I don't. Wait, do the metal ones count? There's like that.
All right. Now, to make your math easier, make sure you're on the side that has a 5 on the top. Make sure you're on the side that has a 5 on the top. So there's a 5 on the top. What does this 5 mean? That means that all of these are ending in 5 or 0. So they're the nice ones. Okay, here's how to make it way easier for you. I'm not giving you more work. I'm making it easier. Extend this line. So make this line longer. Make this line longer. Why? So it makes it easier. You line up the 0.
Mr. Really? I got the wrong one.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Does everybody have the page that looks like mine? If it doesn't, I'll switch.
It's so weird.
All right. So once you've drawn the extra line, the dot, that's where your T goes, right? Okay, and because I've extended my line, I know that it's lined up to 0. Then 140. Is it going to be open wide or open small? Wide, because it's a big number. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. All the way over here. I'm going to put a little mark on 140 over here. Pick up, turn. And this is 140 degrees. It should be open wide. That's how we can tell when we walk around if they're right or wrong, depending on how wide you open them. It's very easy for us to tell if you're on the right track or not. All right. Okay, so now it's already drawn, so you're gonna measure. But again, you wanna make it easy for yourself, extend the line. Just a little. This is not more work. It actually makes the math easier. Trust me. Don't be stubborn. All right, let's check. So the T, the upside down T needs to go right in there. Upside down, Jaden, what are you showing Genesis that she's so interested in? Well, what are you showing her? So can we focus on this? Yes, not on the eye. Upside down T is right there. So you're gonna place your upside down T on there, on the where the two lines meet, right there. Is your arrow lined up to 0? Has to be perfect. Okay, inside numbers, because we skip count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. See how we don't go to 50? So it's below 50. It's above 40.
45.
It's 45. All of your answers on this side will end in 5 or in 0. All of your answers on this side will end in 5 or 0. So you're going to write down 45 degrees. Extend your lines, make it easy for yourself. Now don't just copy my answer. Do it with your protractor and see how we got 45. That will help you do the other one. See how my answer was 45. All right, set my timer, and then I'm going to call on students for the answers.
Oh no.
All right, I only want you to do the first 2, then I'll pass out homework. These on the back, they're funky numbers. They won't end in, actually 1 or 2 end in 5 or 0, but most of them will end in like 63, 38, super random numbers. Your best friend is making these lines longer. And don't tell me you made them longer without anything on your paper.
I make it.
Make them longer and use your protractor to make them longer. You don't want a free hand. Yes, only do 2. Only do 2. Do the first 2. Do the first 2. We're going to have 30 more seconds to figure it out. And then I got to remind myself what those answers are as well. Yep. We'll continue tomorrow. There's no need to rush it. We already did all the front side. We already went over all the answers. Where were you?
Was that close?
No. You're off by 10.
I think you just gave her the answer.
Wait, miss, does the first one start off like in a 5? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Can you put 7?
I think I got it.
The first one's not 65, it's 55.
Huh?
It's 55.
How?
Because it's before the 60, and it's above the 50, so it's 55. Justin, come on, lock in.
Let me double check my answers.
You too, lock in, bro.
Oh, bruh.
I did it wrong.
Okay, what did you guys get for number 1?
I got 56.
Okay, I will take 55 or 56.
55.
55 or 56.
What about for the second one?
What about for the second one?
I got 117. Oh, how? I didn't go for
Okay, I could totally tell for those of you who did not extend.
117.
Okay, extending your lines is actually going to help you get the right answer. Because if not, you're kind of guessing, and you might be guessing wrong. And when it comes to me grading these on the test, if you get it wrong because you didn't extend your line, that kind of sucks. All right. It's 100% not 120. There's no way it's 120.
It's 117, right?
Mr. Valley, I got it right.
118.
Oh my god,
17?
I am.
Degrees.
Oh, it's good.
117, I will take 1 degree above or below 117.
How can you not take 120 then?
Because 120 is like, let me fix this.
2 above.
They won't know.
Oh, 3 above.
How far away? Far, far away, Justin.
Like a
I'm
galaxy.
really far away from 120.
3.
A little bit, just like a little, just by a little.
Just like move it a little.
A 3.
It says 120.
Did you guys hear that we landed on the moon last week?
Really?
For real?
No, we did not. What?
Oh, that's the thing.
Now,
that you see for
humans. Wow, thanks for paying attention. Okay, so we landed on the moon. We sent like a rover to the moon, right?
Wait, but people
Like
didn't.
Mars.
No, it's
Okay.
kind of we just sent that, just like, hey, is it cool? It's cool. But guess what happened?
It crashed.
No,
Exploded.
The moon crashed.
It landed.
it landed.
It burned the moon.
We lost communication.
And something got it, like
It
aliens.
It went upside down.
Shattered.
it tipped over.
Oh my.
Okay,
Ow.
hmm
They don't have like a
The rover
function.
that we sent to the moon. Now,
What was that thing that they used
here's
on Mars?
here's what happened, Dylan. I don't know what happened, but think about it. If it landed at 120 degrees, could it? And you want? Well, actually, I wanted it to land at 117 degrees, and the rover landed at 120. Those little tiny degrees, as much as you want to call it close, might have caused it to tip over, and then all of that money.
They don't have like a. I thought you were gonna say something about the double the batteries.
Yeah, miss on the moon.
And they showed the cameras.
All right, here we go. I need you to pass in your protractors to the front. We're gonna collect it as a team, so like 4, however many people are behind you. I need all the protractors up. All the protractors up.
17, right?
Yeah, I got 117.